Hey, let me out! There was no way that I was going to be stuck in this cabin all night with my sad excuse for a cousin. I mean, even his face made me angry. I'm Ash. I'm a 12th grader, and I guess you could say that I'm the bad boy of the school. When I decided that I would prank my classmate by locking him up in the bathroom and turning all the lights off. You see, I was just having fun, but this chicken freaked out so badly that he smashed the door down and saw red. Smack! He punched me in my right cheek before getting ready to swing again. No way in hell was I letting this chicken get the better of me and punch back. We ended up having a huge brawl, and the school called my parents, who were so embarrassed and disappointed in me. They decided that I needed to stay with my auntie because they couldn't deal with me anymore. My auntie lived in a small town. When we arrived, my mom then turned to me. "You, please don't embarrass us anymore, okay?" Before hopping in the car, leaving me here alone. I stood awkwardly until my aunt took me inside and showed me my bedroom. The opposite was her son's. "Austin, come here and say hi to your cousin." The door creaked open, and I could tell instantly that we would not get along. "Hello," he said before quickly shutting his door. What a loser, I thought. I tried to focus on my new life, but there was something about Austin that annoyed me. Even though he was 4 years younger, he was a complete nerd. My parents praised him and always compared us. Because of him, they made me feel like a worthless idiot. I hated him. Apart from Austin, living with my aunt was peaceful. It felt like I lived alone in this house because my aunt would work 24/7 and Austin always stayed inside his room. Sometimes if I was bored, I sneak in and ruin his study session. I would demand him to finish the housework for me, and because he's terrified of me, he would do it. Then, it was the first school day. My aunts took Austin and me to the bus stop, insisting that I took care of her son. I pretended to be a good boy, holding his hand as we got on the bus. But then, I let go of his hand as soon as we're out of her sight. It was a small school located in the forest, and I instantly became friends with the popular guys. We shared two things in common. We didn't care about our grade, and the teachers hated us. They were a little bit more aggressive than my old friends and would always beat up the weaker kids. But there was nothing I could do to stop it. I was the new guy and needed to fit in. I started to really enjoy my life with my new friends, until one of the guys stuck his foot out and tripped Austin. I was shocked, but I quickly hid my expression because nobody knew that we were cousins, and if they did, oh man, my popularity would tank. "Ha ha ha, what a loser," they all laughed at Austin, lying on the ground. He looked straight at me, silently begging me to help him. But instead, I turned away and ignored his tears. I had no choice. I didn't want to end up like Austin. After that, I would always see him being bullied by other kids and would always turn my back on him. Even though we lived together, both of us would ignore one another completely, pretending the other did not exist. During dinner one night, my aunt asked me about the new school and how I was going. I told her how great it was and how amazing my friends were, while Austin remained silent the whole time as usual. "I'm glad you're here with Aus. He needs someone to look out for him. My poor son is always picked on by other kids." "Ha! Sure," I awkwardly agreed, but for the first time, I could feel the guilt wash over me. I was pretending to be this good guy when I wasn't even close. The other kids continued to pick on Austin, and I would ignore him as usual. After school, I said goodbye to my friends and waited at the bus stop. But this time, Austin was nowhere to be seen. Where the heck is he? I was getting mad and went to call him, but then I realized I didn't have his phone number. I couldn't do anything but wait. It started to get really late, and most of the students had left the school. So I decided to go looking for him. Still, some areas of the school were new to me. I wandered around until I came across a shed. That's when I met a group of kids laughing in front of the shed. But before I could even ask what was so funny, they ran away as soon as they saw me. "Ash!" Austin shouted out from inside. I looked through the window and saw him sitting there, with his knees banged up. They must have put him here. Why is he so pathetic? I felt someone push me forward and fell right into the shed. Bang! The door closed and locked. I tried to push the door with all my power, but it wouldn't budge. "You stupid kids!" I cursed. I checked my phone and found that there was zero signal around here. Austin didn't say a single word and just stared at me. "What the hell are you looking at, freak? Give me your phone." Austin shook his head and said that he had dropped his bag in front of the shed. There's no way out. The only thing we could do was just wait for someone to hear us. The sky got darker, while the atmosphere inside the shed became more awkward. Two cousins who hated each other were stuck together in one place. What fate! I was dying to get out of here, but I couldn't do anything. This situation reminded me of when I locked my friend in the toilet. For a moment, no one said a single word until I blurted out, "So you just let them bully you, huh? Don't you ever want to fight back?" Austin quietly replied, "No," before turning away from me and going back to the horrible silence again. God, his social skills are the worst. They bully you because you're the teacher's pet and no one compares to the great Austin. While the rest of us are considered nobodies, it is so unfair. You know, the teachers only like me because I add value to their self-esteem, not because they think I'm a great person. I'm just a number to them. It was the first time Austin had actually spoken to me, and his answer had stunned me. He was right, but I still hated his holier-than-thou attitude. Whatever, you still act like such a weirdo. That's why people pick on you. You should try to act more normal like the rest of us. Those books you spend all day reading won't help you in a situation like this. How is it my fault that people bully me? I never asked for this. I just want to be left alone," he snapped back. There was a weird tension hanging in the air, and the more we talked, the more awkward I felt. So I tried again to search the way out of this place. I saw a window that looked old enough to break through, but it was too high from the ground. I stood up and used the light from my phone to find something that could be useful, but all I found old desks and chairs that the janitor brought and left here. In a situation like this, a guy with who was strong like me can do so much more than a weird nerd like Austin. My value wasn't based on books, but my ability to fight. And now, I was the only one who could get us out of here. Finally, there was something I was better than Austin. I could even be the hero. So I arranged the desks on top of one another when suddenly we heard a sound. Someone was coming. I could hear them walking near the shed. Finally, someone's here. "Hey, we're in here, help!" But I got no reply. In frustration, I climbed up to the window and used the metal part of the desk to break the glass. But when I looked through the window, there was no one in sight. "Hello? Is someone there?" But it was no use. So I did what I knew was best and tried to squeeze through the glass. "Hey, what are you doing? You're going to hurt yourself." "What? They didn't hear us, so I need to do something to get their attention." But, what if that wasn't human?" I stood frozen. Maybe Austin was right. Why couldn't the person hear us in this deep, quiet woods? What if it really wasn't a person? The footsteps became louder and louder, while the fear in my heart started building bigger and bigger until I started shaking. "Hey, are you all right?" Austin might have been worried about me, but I thought he was making fun of me and I hated being called weak, so I replied angrily, "Of course I am! Stop saying stupid things and just shut up!" I tried to hide my fear as I climbed out. As the upper part of me went out, I only saw the darkness in front of me. I looked for the bushes where I could jump into, and luckily, there was some just underneath me. I built up the courage and jumped out to get away from this terrifying situation. "Are you okay?" Austin asked me worriedly. "I'm fine," I replied, despite the pain. I laid there for a moment when the mysterious footsteps started coming from behind. I quickly turned around and saw a shadow rushing at me. "Ah!" I screamed my soul out of my body, until I realized that it was just a dog. "Oh no, Ash, what is it?" "Damn it, it's just a stupid dog," I sighed with relief. There was no such thing as a ghost in this world. The most important thing was that I can make it out here and we could finally go home. I walked back in front of the shed to open the door. But before I could reach the door, I saw another mysterious figure waiting for me. I was so scared. My hands started sweating. Oh no. I moved my flashlight right onto the figure when... Austin? Aus shielded his face from my phone. I was so confused. How did he get out? And when I pointed the light to that shed, the door was completely open. No one was in it. What was going on? Who was in there with me? Was this really him? I looked at Austin before asking, were you locked up with me? How did you get out? But before I could finish my questioning, Austin's phone rang from the ground, and he picked it up and answered. It was my aunt. She was furious and wondering where we were. He hung up and looked at me. Let's hurry home. Still confused with many questions, I asked Austin again, how could you get out so easily? Well, I just pulled the door open. What? I was speechless when I heard his answer and looked at the door again. The entire time, I was supposed to pull. And why on earth did you not tell me? He looked at me and sighed. You seemed to know what you were doing, so I let you. But I didn't expect you to be so dumb that you wouldn't know how to open that door. His answer cleared up everything in my mind, and I realized how dumb I had been. I was so embarrassed. We came home late that night. My aunt was so furious, and I thought I had done something, but Austin lied and said that we were back late because he was helping a friend with homework. We went to school as usual on the next day and did not speak a single word about what happened. Austin was bullied by other kids as normal. But instead of ignoring them, I remembered his words. It's their fault for bullying someone who just wants to be left alone, and walked up to the bullies and told them to leave Austin alone. They knew that I was with the popular kids, so they ran away. Austin looked at me with confusion. Maybe he felt strange that I was suddenly protecting him. don't get the wrong idea. I am just paying you back for what you did last night. But if you don't fight back next time, don't expect me to help you again. I won't. They just tease me because they envy me. It's human nature to hate someone who's better. Just like you and me, right? He replied as if he knew everything about the world. Damn, I hate his stupid face. Now I knew another reason why other kids always teased him. Because he's an annoying geek. Yeah, you're right, smart boy. Please, survive the rest of the day and meet me at the bus stop on time. You got it? I teased him before I walked away to class. Even though we would never be the best siblings, our relationship was slowly getting better.